welcome to today's Success Meetup. So, if this is your first time, welcome. You can find these sessions on the within KV Core in the live training calendar. If you want to know the topic ahead of time, you'll want to make sure that you are in our Facebook group, which can be found at insiderealestate.com/Facebook group. So I'm going to also chat out a link to everyone who is here live. So you can use that link, which I realize is not what I just said. Either one will get you there, that link or typing in insiderealestate.com/Facebook group. And so that is where you can go to see what we're going to do ahead of time. We post that every Monday, what the actual topic is going to be. So if you want to like pick and choose the ones that you show up to, that could be a good solution for you. So today we are going to talk about sold listings. You can also scan this QR code here if you want to get a direct link to register for these in the future, especially for those of you watching the replay on our YouTube channel. If you want to make sure that you can register in the future, you go ahead and grab your phone, scan that QR code, so that way you can see the registration link for everything coming up. So today we are focusing on sold listings on your KV Core website. This is only for your KV Core websites. If you also have another provider, I won't be able to speak to that. So now that we kind of know what's going on today, let me go through and change the settings so you can unmute yourself. Don't feel like you have to unmute yourself, but this is some of us are more verbal. The idea with these success meetups is that they're really interactive. So we're going to start in the beginning and stay on track with sold listings, and then we open it up to an open Q&A. If you want to just throw your question in, even if it's not related, if you want to throw it into the chat, I can always make sure we get to it by the end of the day. So if you have a non-related, non-on topic question, go ahead and throw that in there too. And I apologize, I've been talking for about 5 hours now, so my voice is getting a little crackly, so I'm going to take some water breaks. All right, so your sold data on your website, there are two possibilities. You might have sold data included in your site, or you might not. I'm going to show you a couple things within KV Core that kind of tell you if you have sold data. If you're not sure if you are supposed to have sold data or not, you can always reach out to support. Reminder that you can reach support using this smiley face chat widget on the bottom right-hand side of your KV Core dashboard. You can also directly reach out to support as well via email. And that email address is, after a dramatic pause, I forget it as well. I believe it's just support@insiderealestate.com. Nope, just kidding. kvcore@insiderealestate.com. So let me chat that out for all of my live attendees. So kvcore@insiderealestate.com. Okay, so if you're not sure if you have it or if you're supposed to have it, you can reach out to them. They can always look into your account and see if you're supposed to have it. A really easy way to tell if you have it, when you hover over listings, which is the fourth item down on your left-hand navigation, you can see I have this sold listings pop-out option. So that's a really easy way to look and see like, oh, okay, there's sold listings. So that's if you have the data feed enabled. Okay, so first up, let's talk about if you don't have sold data, how you can get your sold listings to show and populate onto your KV Core website. So you go to the listing section here, and we are going to manually add a listing in. Okay, so I'm going to share with you a support article, of course. And again, everyone who is attending live, you can just click on the links. And for anyone who is in our reviewing this via the YouTube channel, this is all of our support articles can be found by clicking on the support and training. Tons of articles in there. So I just searched manual, and I was able to pull up this article right here, how to manually add your own sold, exclusive, and pocket listings. So if you don't have the data feed enabled, then you can always add your own listings. Now, this is for agents specifically. So if I have any admins on here, um, you would also need to go and manually add those in. It's not going to feed up to you from your agents. I get that question a lot. So I just wanted to put that out there. So you will have, if you do not have sold data, you'll see MLS listings, manual listings, and my listings. So you won't have this sold option here if you don't have the sold data. So if you go to manual listings, this is where we are physically adding in anything that wasn't on the MLS or is no longer being fed into our system from the MLS. So I am going to create one with us right now. So if I went to, so I'm just grabbing us an image to use really quickly. Okay, so if I was going to add in a sold listing, I would need to add in a listing. And I would put in the address so I can search for the location. Right now, in this case, it's sold. But you could also do this for like a coming soon if you wanted to showcase that on your website. You could do that as well. You just wouldn't have a sold date. All right, so I'm going to put in my address. So 123 Main Street. Oh, there actually is one. Perfect. We'll just pick that. If I know the MLS area, I can populate that. If I know the MLS neighborhood, I could populate that as well. I click next down here on the bottom. And then I'm going to enter in my property details. So I want to put in as much information as possible. So that way the page that I'm creating essentially is as full of information as it can be. So this is going to be a sold property. I also have exclusive and coming soon, but this is going to be sold. My property type, I don't actually know what that listing is in real life, so we're just going to call it a single family home. I could put in my style, the year built, the bed, bath. I could do as much information as I want. For the sake of today and keeping us on track, I'm just going to kind of skip over a lot of that. Walk score, elementary school, whatever I know I can put in. 55 and up, whether there's a basement, some features that usually come over from the MLS I can put in here. So maybe it's also on a golf course. I could type that in. It has air conditioning. Yeah, that looks good. We'll just put that. So basically, I'm just filling out the information that usually comes over from the MLS. I click next down on the bottom. And now I upload a photo. I can have more than one photo, so it can be really helpful to have this. There we go, pictures. That's what I wanted. Oh, there we go, Oceanside listing. So you want these photos on your computer. So you can upload like I just did, where I go to file and it opens the files, or if I'm a Mac user or even a PC user, generally you can just click and drag as well if you wanted to add over some other options in here. So like if I wanted to add, let's see, I've got a kitchen. I want to add that in there, and I've got a bedroom. Add that in there, right? So if I wanted to add as many images, maybe there's a second bedroom, there's a bathroom, and an office, right? So I can add in as many pictures as I want. Once I'm all done, I could even, if I don't do them in the right order though, you have to delete and re-add. So be mindful of the order you put them in at. And so this sold price, we're going to put it in at 1.2. And we're going to say that it's sold on the 20th. My listing date, so let's say that was the beginning of December. There's not, I could link to the MLS listing. And then this listing status right here, this should really be like a publishing status. So this listing status is, do I want this on my website or not? So I can showcase that. So I could come in here and create my sold listing before it actually sells. Maybe that's even part of my listing process. I just, populate it in KV Core and I leave it not listed. I leave it off. And then once it does sell, I can turn it on. And then I can even put remarks. So these are my remarks about this property and the selling or the listing process. And I click finish. Okay, so there's, I have 2 main streets because I'm very creative. So now I have this 123 Main Street. I can see when it was listed, I can see the sold date, and that is going to populate onto my agent website. So if I go and I look at my agent website and I look under this My Agent tab or Your Agent tab, I'll be able to see my sold listings. Now, it's not populating yet because I just did it, so it probably needs a couple minutes to kind of process its way through. But that's how you can utilize and showcase sold listings on your website if you don't actually have sold data connected into your account. Any questions about that? Again, unmute yourself, chat in questions, throw in the Q&A, raise your hand, whatever you want. Oh, and I just looked and I misspoke a little bit, so I apologize. So it is under your agent, but it's under my listings. So my listings is I have coming soon published, which I had forgotten about. So that's why there's my coming soon fake property. And then here are my sold listings as well. All right, so here's all my sold listings in here. So since I put this one was on a golf course, that's why it has that kind of like listing label on it. And then someone can view this property and view all of the details. So then they can see everything that I put in here. So they can, scroll through this. They can see the remarks that you made about the listing. Here's those amenities that you checked off and on. There it is on the map, right? And then here's that street view of 123 Main Street, which again, I obviously just picked a random random address in there. So that's sold listings onto your database. Let's see, I would love to know how to add a text code to my website if you have time at the end. Okay, we will come back to that. Yes. All right, so if you do have sold listings, there is way more that you can do to leverage that sold data. So again, if you hover over listings and you see sold listings on here, that's a really good way to know if you have sold listings or not. If you're not sure or if you don't see that, but you think you're supposed to have it, reach out to our support team via chat. So Deb asked if agents have this sold data feed available, how far back does it go? That is a good question. I think it goes as far back as you've had that data feed in KV Core. Oof, that is a good question. See if I can toggle this. Well, that's the listing date. Or the sold date, that's what I want. Oh yeah, so I'm pulling in really old data. I don't know if that's my demo account or not. I apologize, Deb. I don't know the answer to that question. Let me see if I can get the answer to that before we're done today. All right, I'm chatting our support team and hopefully I'll get an answer for you, Deb, by the end. But if not, I'll email you a response because it's a really good question. No one's asked me that question before. All right. Okay, so if you do have the sold data, tons of things that you can do. So again, you can just look at sold listings here. So if you have a client that says, oh, okay, well, my neighbor just sold their house. I don't remember what it was for. Do you remember? You can come in here and type in the specific property, right? So 516 Smith Road. So I'd find the right one, probably keep typing. I would keep typing till I got something more specific. But that gives me 28 records. So let's say it was this one. And I could say, oh, okay, it was listed for this much. It was sold for this much. Let me send it to you in an email. Right. And so whenever you send emails like this, you do not update this link. This email is going to go out and it will link them appropriately to the site or to that listing on your site. So maybe they want to know, because I can filter. I can go to my sold listings and I can filter, and I could do a location. So I could draw on a map. So maybe they want to see, okay, the sold listings in this area. And I apply that filter. Yeah, and I'm just looking on here. So the most recent sales are on top. Yeah, since 2012. So just looking at this, it seems to go back for a really, really long period of time. That might be a good filter for us to add, is how far back into our sold suite. But I can imagine that people want all of it there. So we probably wouldn't limit that, but we might be able to add a filter. But so, okay, within that list, here's the 10 most recent. I know it's 10 because it tells me it's 10. And so I could email that list to people and say, okay, here's, the most recent properties that kind of fit your criteria, right? I can other things if I have sold listings. So if you have sold listings, it is a little tricky to be able to search for them on your website. So this can be really, really, really helpful to make like a screenshot or a quick video recording and kind of show your consumers how to utilize this. So when they go to the search feature here and they click on more filters, there is this toggle right in the center of your page. Right? So if I wanted to look again in Carlsbad, look at that city. Oh, sorry, my data feed's always silly on my demo account. So let's do Orange, New York. And then sold, show only sold. And then I could look for a certain price point. So maybe I want to see everything under 850. So I have this toggle here to show sold. So that might be worth a screenshot or a quick video and save that as a template in KV Core, because I feel like that's something that's a good way to add value to your consumers, or you may get questions about it often. And so that is something that I would probably just make a quick template about, whether it's an email or a text or something like that. Text would have to be text-based, but email could have a video, it could have a link to a video, it could have a screenshot, a picture in there, all kinds of things like that. And so it even tells you there's a flag on each of these, and it tells me the sold date. Right. So if I click on that one, for example, there we go, sold. And my other title is in here too, about pets allowed. Now this one is showing me only one photo. So either there was always only one photo, or maybe the MLS, maybe the agent went in and removed the other photos. So we are kind of limited to what's available from the MLS, right? And I'm getting lots of rentals. So I would probably go back in and redo this search to not include rentals. Apply that again. Or I could also do like a minimum price point. It's a good way to exclude rentals as well. There we go. So if I look at that sold, there we go. Yeah. So that's one way to utilize sold listings on your website. Another way is to go into your web and IDX settings. So that's down near the bottom. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 down, web and IDX. So if I click on that, and then I go to edit settings, which is in the center of my page. Another way to utilize sold listings is with these listing carousels. So in the center of this navigation. So this here on the left. So listing carousels. So with my listing carousels, I can come in here and I have other options. Now these carousels show on my site on the front page. So lots of things to edit here. As I scroll down, here are my carousels. So I have just reduced, and then here are my sold properties. Not my sold properties, here are sold properties, and then open houses. And so you have different options here. So for that second carousel, there's a couple different sold options. So if you have, if you do not have the sold data feed, you could do a carousel of your manual listings. You could do a carousel of all the sold listings on the MLS, or a carousel of just my sold listings. So that first one, the manual listings, is if you don't have the data feed, and the other two are if you do have the data feed. And whenever you make changes, you definitely want to hit save as well. Another way to showcase sold listings on your website, I go back to Web and IDX to the beginning, is with my widgets section. So the widgets, as you look at your website, are these things. So what's my home worth, meet the team, get pre-approved, meet the team here. Those are all widgets. Now, be cautious because some of you have semi-custom or premium templated websites, and some of you have a basic website. So if you go to Web and IDX and click on widgets, you can add and remove different widgets. Don't worry if you mess up, you can always clear the editor here, right? So it's going to take care of my custom content. I can always revert back to the default. So I'm now inheriting things that have come to me from my office site. So I could always do that. If I like mess up and need to go back, I can do that. But these widgets here, so if I wanted to do like a featured area widget, for example, I could do a featured area widget, which looks like this, like the different areas. I could make one of these for sold listings if I have that feed, right? And so that's another webinar. We can talk about it today if you want me to. But I could also instead do like the default property type. So if instead of land, I wanted to do sold, I could do that too. Now, the way that you get the search areas or the search content, the search results for these is going to be, because like if we look at mine, oh, I don't have a good example, but if you look at a featured area, it's basically helping your consumers do a search result. So if we look at, even if we just look at the examples here with that little icon, if they click on Explore Holly Springs, it's going to take them to listings in Holly Springs, right? So when you are doing this for yourself, you need to have a search result. So you can either do that search on your website, or you can make a squeeze page for it. Either way is fine, but you need to be able to have a link for that search result and that search criteria. Okay, and great question came in, repeat that Facebook group. So I linked it in up at the top. That's one way. Let me link that again. Or if you just, so you can click that link or highlight it, really copy paste. Or if you just want to type it into your browser, it's Inside Real Estate. I'll type this in too. So Inside Real Estate, and I'm spacing it out so it's easy to read, .com/Facebook group. Okay, but in real life it would have no spaces, but insiderealestate.com, that's our company, /Facebook group. Both of them will help you get there. Yeah, good question. Okay, so does anyone want to see me create a widget? Yeah, you're welcome, Debbie. So another way to utilize sold listings, if you have the feed, okay, we've got lots of yeses. All right, I'll do that for sure. So I'm going to create the search. Okay, so you can go to your lead engine and you can look at your squeeze pages. So my squeeze pages, for those of you who are not familiar, I'm creating a link that helps people. It takes them to where I want them on my website. I'm squeezing them to the content I want. So I have multi-property, so that's a search result. I have single property, which is a single property, seller squeeze to take you to the home valuation, and a market report sign-up squeeze. If you have the sold data, you also have a sold multi-property squeeze page here. So maybe I want to look at all the homes for sale or all the homes that have sold in Carlsbad, in the city of Carlsbad, that were under $1 million, right? Maybe that's the search criteria that I want to look for. I can do my page configuration, so I can do my source. So this might be my Facebook group, Carlsbad locals, hashtag sold Carlsbad, and then how many properties they look at before they register, and I generate my link. So if you are using this to make a area widget, I would recommend changing this to immediate because that's the default registration on your website. So that way it would match whether they do a search on their own or not. Or you could, I mean, I would not pick never. But you could do two. Like if you want to give them like one property for free, you could do that. So I'll do immediate and I generate my link. And then I take this big long link here and I could highlight it like I just did, right click or control and copy, or this little icon here is just a copy, right? So I can copy it that way too. Okay, so now as I go to my web and IDX and I go to the widgets, I can either add a featured area widget or I could also repurpose the default property type widget. So whichever I would want. So I'm going to do the featured area widget. So I'm going to add that in. And then I would add in my area. So this might be sold Carlsbad listings, right? My location is going to be Carlsbad. Actually, just kidding. I misspoke. Erase the last few seconds of your brain. I apologize. Let's see, I would want to do a custom widget, I think. This is not giving me this sold option I thought it was going to. All right, let me play for just 1 second. That one. Okay, if I was really comfortable with editing HTML, which I am, you could repurpose this for sold. I might do that. I'd probably need to create my own custom widget. So, which I would need to know HTML code for. So let's see. Okay, so I'm going to take this default property type and we're going to edit this. So what you want to do is you want to find yourself an image to work for. So this says background image in here. So I want to find myself an image that is available online. that could be something that you host or just something that's available to you. So let me grab one of those. My image is going to be. Just one second. Okay, so something that's online. There we go. And then I'm going to display. There we go. So this is my link. So that's where I'm going to put that sold squeeze page, which is like that, I believe. And then this is going to be sold. Save. And that should do it. Let's see. Oh, and I need a better image, but you can see, so my multifamily, I adjusted to be sold. And so I need to go back in and edit that. I need a better image. That's what I need. Okay, that'll work. Yep, there we go. So there's my multifamily, and I click view list on here. Oh, and so I need to go in and do some adjusting to that code too, because again, HTML is not my strong point. So I would need to put a better link in there. When it comes to updating the widgets, so apologies, this is Heather's strong point, so I apologize. So let me grab you a video that goes really, really into the editing of those widgets, including the question that I got about the snowflake. Someone asked about adding the snowflake widget to the website. So let me grab you that as well. So you are stumping me today, which has not happened in a while. So let me grab that video too. It is on our YouTube channel. So our YouTube channel looks like this. And it's just youtube.com/@insiderealestate. So for anyone watching the recording, if you want to know how to get there, youtube.com/insiderealestate. And so we are on our playlist, the KV Core Success Meetups, Tips, Tricks, and Q&A. And so if I look at that, specifically the ones you want to look for, so the snowflake one is there we go. It was near the top, so I missed it. Quick and easy holiday updates to your KV Core site. So it's currently 4th on the list on here, and that's going to go through some fun holiday updates onto your website. And we'll go through like adding in different background codes to that HTML area. So apologies, that will be, I'm going to have to send you there because I don't actually know how to do that. I almost did watch this video, but it just goes to show that there's so many fun advanced things that you can do on your website. So I would look at this. I would also recommend For those of you wanting to know more about editing your website, our live training calendar every Wednesday for our Agent Quick Start course. That is website related. So I would also send you there as well. So every Wednesday, our Agent Quick Start, your KV Core website and listing management, that's going to go into further website editing. Yeah, good. Thank you, Debbie. Yeah, you're just throwing me for a loop. So I apologize that I didn't have that, quite as locked down. But yeah, when you go to your web and IDX, there's a lot of different embeds that you can create in here to kind of change the experience that you can have on your website, including making your own custom widget. So I do know if I knew HTML, and there are so many tools out there these days that you can just say like, okay, here's the link I want it to go to, and here's the picture I want to use, and it'll kind of create that code for you. So there are lots of tools out there these days that will do something like that. Yeah, and I apologize. I thought I could just update this featured area widget. So I think what you would want to do to add sold is to update the featured default widget and go in and play with the code the way that I did. So I'm happy to continue playing around, but if you have other questions, I would like to answer those too. So as you can see, I did get the image to show incorrectly, but that link still just isn't quite right. So I would just keep playing with it personally. So what I would do, I would have open in another tab. I would have the image that you want to use. So I just found like a random picture. I went to pexels.com and honestly picked one of the first ones I found. And I used this image address right here. And then in another tab, I would have the squeeze page open as well. So you could just copy and paste that in to where it's asking for your link. All right. Any other website or widget related questions? How does one get certified through Inside Real Estate for KV Core? Debbie, that's another great question. We were actually just talking about that internally, creating some kind of a certification, a course for people to go through so they could get certified and consider themselves certified trainers or users of KV Core. So that's a really good question. At this time, we don't have specific certifications. We do have, as you complete the different courses in our learning portal, there are certificates of completion there. But as far as like, I'm a certified KV Core trainer, something like that, we're in the works of thinking about that. You're getting right on the bandwagon of the thought train that that's something that we do want to figure out a solution for, because that question has actually been coming up a lot lately. So I'm glad you're kind of right in there with the curve. And so I'm going to jot your name down, Debbie, and follow up with you when we do come up with our solution for that. All right, you're jotted down. All right, circling back. Okay, circling back, a question came up much earlier from Peggy. Peggy asked a question about text code. So, oh, Peggy is not here anymore. We lost Peggy. So any other questions about the website or about anything in general? Except for HTML coding, apparently. Don't be shy. You've got a trainer live. Questions about, we could talk about text codes, more questions about squeeze pages. Uh, Another good way to utilize sold listings that I didn't really talk about. You don't have to have the data in here, but you leveraging landing pages, right? Because a landing page is all about giving them a little bit of information, enough to make them want to get all the info in exchange for their email, right? That's a landing page. It's like the gateway to all the information, right? But you also have to tell them why they want to enter that gate, right? Pay the gate fee. So this could be if I've recently sold something. So sold in your area above asking price for your personal home valuation, enter your contact info and I'll be in touch. So I could do something like that, right? And then I would change the background image to probably a custom background, probably a property that I have sold. So a property that I have access to the photos for. So I could do a custom background image there. For the sake of today and time, we'll just pick this one. Why not? And then I want to make sure hashtag, this could be 123 Main Street, sold listing landing page. It could be as long as I want it to be. Submit button text.
I have a question here since
Yeah.
on the hashtags, how come the pound sign is not being used?
That's a great question. So when you are in a field or an area that says hashtag, you don't need to tell the system that it's also a hashtag. So that's why you wouldn't use it there. So
So I created one yesterday and I did multiple outreaches, but I added the hashtag space, and then the one or two words and then space and hashtag. So I don't have to do that.
Correct. Yeah, you could just do hashtag 1 space hashtag 2.
Oh, so I have to number them.
Oh no, that's just me using an example. So this could be sold landing, and then I could do 123 Main Street sold.
Okay.
So I could do that.
And then when I have it on Facebook, I notice it automatically takes me to the landing page like you're seeing right now where they have to give the email. And of course, I did click the phone number to be given as well. Is there a way to change that where, well, I guess that's the point of a landing page, isn't it? Okay, and then if I were to use something like the landing page to market myself on Facebook, I can do that, right? And just pay for ads through Facebook.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I would suggest, so if you're going to pay for ads through there's kind of two ways to advertise on Facebook. So one is to, let me go to my business page for you. If I go look at my page. So when I go to Facebook, there we go. So the two ways to kind of advertise, one is to take something that you've posted like here and boost it. And so when you do that, what you're essentially doing is paying to get in front of people. So that way they kind of come back to your business page. Oops, which I just closed out on accident. So they might click on your landing page. They might then connect with you and your business page, but that's one of the things that you might see as you're scrolling on Facebook. That's like, yeah, it tells you that it's an ad. And so boosting is taking something that you've posted on your page and driving more traffic to it. So that's one way to advertise. Another way to advertise is to create an actual ad. And then if you create an actual ad, then your post lives in the ad space. It doesn't need to live on your Facebook business page. So two different ways to promote. And when you're creating an ad in here, you could do, when you go to talk about your goal could be driving more people to your business page, or your goal could be getting more likes would be driving more people to your business page. If it is to grow your customer base, then that's kind of like that's advertising. And so that's where they would register within Facebook, and you would then need to connect your Facebook leads into KV Core. So there's lots of
How do you
different
do that?
ways to promote. Yeah, so doing that, I would want to go into the lead engine as well and go
Okay.
to the lead Dropbox. So
Okay.
I'm going to want to utilize Zapier to do that. Now, just so you are aware, Zapier is a third party, and what it does is it connects things together. For the Facebook connection specifically, you do need a paid Zapier account. I don't know how much that costs. There's lots of free connections you can make through there, but I do know that the Facebook ad one is a paid connection.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And then one more question. So I have heard that boosting on Facebook is actually more of a waste of money and to do ads. How do you feel about that?
So I agree for the most part. It depends on what your goal is. Because if you are boosting, then that means that you are, again, driving people back to your actual business page. And so Facebook these days, when pages first came out, they were like driving traffic to pages. They wanted that. And I don't know exactly when, but a couple of years ago, they shifted their focus. Um, it's hard to organically get people to see your Facebook posts. You're not even all, I have 68 followers, and these are all people, well, I'd say 65 of them I actually know personally. And so even them hardly ever see my things. And so that's just what Facebook did. And so if you're boosting that post, you're really just saying, I want people to see the post that I'm making. So
Okay.
you're mostly going to get back in front of your audience. You might get some new audience members as well, but not really. So if your purpose is to re-engage with the people who are following you, it does have value.
Understood.
But
Okay.
if your purpose is for new people, I would make an ad.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, we got a couple minutes left. Any other questions? Let's keep building out this landing page. So, sold in your area above asking price. So in this scenario, I'd probably use the front photo of the property, something that, the neighbor who drives by would recognize as being in their neighborhood. It wouldn't, if I was really doing this, I would probably do a front of the house shot. For your personal home valuation, enter your contact info and I'll be in touch, right? With my landing pages, I want to give a very clear call to action. I want them to know what to expect if they give me their contact info, what's going to happen, because I also need them to want to give me their info. So I might say sold in your area, above $1 million, or sold in your area for, 20% more than asking price, or sold in your area in less than 30 days. Like I would probably tell them what it is that any of my seller leads, whatever my seller leads are telling me they want from me, I'm going to advertise utilizing that feature, right? So I have, and then the URL after they log in. Logging in is considered giving me the contact info. So after they log in, where do I want them to go? So in this case, I did tell them that I'll be in touch. I might choose to have them go nowhere. So they would go to the front page of my website. And then I have a smart campaign that triggers with hashtag sold landing that automatically sends out an email. Or I might be a little bit easier would be utilizing what already exists on my website, going to the seller valuation page here or a squeeze page. Either one would do the same thing. And I take this link and paste that into my landing page. These lead types are most likely going to be sellers, so I would want to indicate that as well. And then I save it. And now I can utilize this. So I can use the share icon and just options pop out for me. I can highlight this and copy it and put it in like a blog article.
I,
Maybe I do an email blast out to my sphere telling them about my listing, and then I put a link to this in there. I could do something like that too.
I have a question when you have a moment.
Yeah, go for it.
So I notice up here you have the different links. I'm not sure what the green one is, but the Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Pinterest.
Mhm.
How do you get those on? I guess that's where I would have to set it up on the website, correct?
Yeah, so here it's just me posting on there. So if I click the F for Facebook, so the green, to take it back a second, the green, that's just giving you your sharing options. So if I click that green
Oh, okay.
button, the
Okay.
other sharing options pop out. And
Okay.
so if I click on F for Facebook, I'm going to get this pop up that just makes it easy for me to share this landing page. It's defaulting to my personal profile. So I might want to
Okay.
put it in a group or on a page that I manage or something like that. So I could do that. Um, what I could also do, I believe what you're mentioning is adding my profile. If I go into my profile in KV Core, you are correct that there is areas to add in your social media links here as well. This is different though.
That's where it would be. Okay.
Yeah. So what this experience does when you add your social media links here. So if we go back to my website, which I have so many open now, and just look at like the normal front page of my site, in my website template in the top right corner, you see that little F?
Yeah.
That's what that profile setting does. So in here, I'm saying anyone who comes to my KV Core site, if you want another way to connect with me, here it is. You can click on that F and you can go visit me on Facebook. So I connected in my personal profile there. I could have done my business page. I could do, I could do Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. So I can provide lots of resources for people to get in touch with me. I only did the Facebook one because that's all I have right now. And so that's what that does. So that's different.
Okay.
This is just saying, hey, visitors to my site, welcome. Here's another way to get to know me and connect with me. Whereas my landing page, this is saying I'm making a post on my business page or into a group or onto my personal profile or into the marketplace or wherever I'm putting it.
Okay, great. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right. Any other questions for me?
Well, since there's no questions coming up,
Yeah, come on in.
as far as advertising,
Mhm.
let's say through Facebook and my private and the business, would you say the squeeze page or the landing page would be the ultimate? Because I've only sold 2 homes. I'm kind of newer. And
Mhm.
so, there's limitations and I don't have any listings at the moment. So to lead generate for maybe sellers or even buyers, how do I utilize both those pages to make advertisement come through Facebook or Instagram? Because it's all
Yeah,
about.
all connected. I would say so if you're going to do an ad, you don't actually even need to do a landing page or a squeeze page because it's all about
Okay.
capturing their information. So you could make like so it's all about capturing their information. So let's say I take a piece of value, right? It's all about giving them value for their value, which is contact info. So
Right.
let's say I make a buyer's guide. That's my piece of value. One way I can capture their information is to make a landing page for it. Hey, here's my landing page. Download my buyer's guide. Put in your email address and I'll send it to you. Right. So
Okay.
that's giving me a way to capture their info with the landing page and then deliver my deliverable, which is the buyer's guide.
And how do
Now,
I do that through KV Core?
and so that would be like if you created a buyer's guide, you could we recommend putting it into Google Drive, and
Okay.
then you can grab the shareable link from Google Drive. So that way people can have it and download it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. And then so Google Drive and then I guess my next question is how to get that into KV Core.
So that it wouldn't really necessarily be in KV Core. It would be Let me send that to you. So it would be just like, so if you do a landing page, that lead automatically drops into KV Core. So that's kind of the benefit there.
Okay.
If you're taking that piece of value, that buyer's guide, and you make an ad for it through Facebook. So if you go to create an ad,
Okay.
and then I want to change this to be, there we go, to grow my customer base. Like I'm trying to get new people. And I want to, and then I would change my ad, right? This is not the ad that I want. I want to, instead of advertising my business page, I want to talk to you about a buyer's guide. So I'm going to do some kind of eye-catching description. I'm going to update this photo to be a generic home or some thoughtful people, or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to change this button. So instead of apply now, I'm going to change this to be, learn more, subscribe. So it would probably be learn more. And then I would create that form, and I could, as you go through creating your ad, then they're registering within Facebook, and then you set up the ad to also deliver them the deliverable. So it can be forwarding them to that guide. It can be taking them even to that guide on your business page. Maybe you have it as a file. It could be maybe you put it as a link on your website. Maybe you create a smart campaign to deliver them the guide, but this way you're capturing their information in Facebook. So to get them the information from Facebook into KV Core, that's when you need to go into your lead Dropbox and connect that via Zapier. So I would say landing pages take less steps, but a Facebook ad is probably going to be more effective.
Okay, and Zapier, is that a part? I guess I have to Google Zapier and do my own account from there and then get that connected into KV Core from the looks of it.
Yep, we've got the instructions right up here, so no Googling needed. But you do need to go make your own account. And while there are free accounts for that Facebook connection specifically, you do need to do their paid account.
Okay, all right, great. That's amazing. Thank you so much.
You're
This is
welcome.
a lot for me, so I really appreciate your time a lot.
Yeah, you're welcome. We are here doing things just like this every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So definitely sign up for some future success meetups. We post the schedule, we post the topics like the Monday of that week. So if anyone in the Facebook group, you'll be able to see the topics ahead of time. And then we post the recordings into this YouTube channel. So KV Core Success Meetups, Tips, Tricks, and Q&A.
Okay, and then isn't it Monday through Thursday? I'm sorry, I know some start at 10 on Mondays, right?
Yep, let's look at our calendar. So our live training calendar, you are correct. So that is different. So if I look at Eastern time, well, you said 10 a.m., so I know that's Pacific. So we'll go Pacific.
You're South, I'm Central.
So if I look at, starting on Monday. Oh, I went too far.
Oh yeah, right after Christmas. I'm sure you guys will be closed on Mondays.
We are here on Monday, question mark. I have to look at my calendar. Right. I don't remember.
A lot of people are
Yeah. So yes, it looks like we are off. Yay. So
that's what I thought.
That's funny. Yay, I'm off on Monday. So yes, usually on Monday.
I'm glad to tell you.
Yes. So at 10 a.m., you are correct. There is this agent quick start. So those are our basic trainings, and those are very agenda driven. We have a specific topic that we talk through on repeat. So every Monday at 10 a.m., we talk about getting started, which is your profile, your dashboard, and your apps. Every Tuesday at 10 a.m., we talk about managing your contacts, which is smart campaigns, CRM, mass emails, that kind of a thing. Every Wednesday at 10 a.m., it's your website and listing management, so customization, things like that. And then Thursday at 10 a.m., it's fueling your pipeline. So bulk import, new leads, paid and free options. So it's very, very, if you haven't taken those, hop in and do them. And that goes off of the quick start course that we also have available. So if you want to self-pace your learning or, learn at 10 p.m. instead of 10 a.m., hop into the course.
And where do you find, I'm sorry, on that one page, where do you find the certification courses where you just were?
So all the courses, or at least most of the courses, they have certificates when you complete them. So the Agent Quick Start one has a certificate when you complete it. Core Present has a certificate. Most of them have certificates.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then
I'm sorry, one more question. What's the difference between Core and KV Core?
Yes. So it kind of depends on which core you're looking at. Core is kind of like our overall branding. So KV Core, that's what we've been in all day and looking at. Core Present is an add-on that you may or may not have. It depends on your account. You can see it in marketing. And that is a CMA and listing presentation tool. You might also see Core Back Office, which is an accounting software. So most of you don't need to be in there. Those are our big three in here. We also have Core Listing Machine, which is another add-on. You will also see that under marketing, and that is automating social media presence.
Okay.
Yeah, so good question. Core is like,
sorry, this is my other computer.
Thing. No, that's okay.
Let me mute that. I apologize. Okay, muted. Okay, so I can go through the certification program right there. I get that. And then Core and KV Core. So I'm assuming the Core is an additional cost. And then that's more for lead generation.
Yes. So if you have it, hover over marketing, and that will tell you if you have Core Listing Machine and Core Present. And if you don't, you can talk to your admin, your account, the person who
you have Core Present. Yes.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. I love Core Present. And I do those trainings. So I'll see you on Tuesday.
So is this free to me then? No charge, no charge?
I can't speak to that directly because every account is different. I would say in general, if you are already paying for KV Core, it's probably included. And in general, if you're not paying for KV Core, you probably don't have to pay for Core Present. But I will say if it's there, you have it. So we aren't charging you.
Okay, so that's nice. That means I have two different directions to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So I'm not wasting my time. Okay. That was amazing. Thank you very much. Okay.
You are very welcome.
I know I'll stop talking. I know I can go 100 questions and it's past your time. So thank you very much.
That's okay. I love the questions. I love the enthusiasm. It makes my day. That's literally why I like my job. So thank you.
This is exciting. I really, being a part of EXP, I would love to master this because it's my greatest struggle. So that way with new agents who are coming on where I could help them. And so it's kind of like mastering your weakness and then passing it on is my desire.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, I totally agree.
Well, I completely appreciate it. Thank you very much. And you Merry Christmas and have a great day.
Great. Thank you as well. And thank you to all of our other attendees. I hope you enjoyed all of our content for today, from our sold listings to landing pages to Facebook and everything in between. This recording will be on that YouTube channel. Since we are on holiday soon, probably Tuesday or Wednesday, now that I've realized the days that we're off and who does this. So in a couple of days it'll be on here, but in the meantime, check out that quick easy holiday updates video. I'll watch that too, and there's lots of good other info in here as well, like, oh, there we go, making custom widgets on your website. So thank you. Have a great day.